is you have to face your well and examine it and see, why is this well in my life? And then why did the enemy come? I'm gonna deal with the 5 wells of Jacob, the 5 wells of Jacob, and what each well represent and how it moves you. And Shannon, if you're watching, I know that Shannon was studying with me when we were putting that together. She may be en route here, and she was saying, "Oh, this is good right now." So she likes this. So Genesis chapter 26, Jarek, if you have it. Genesis chapter 26, verse 1 says, and I'm gonna try to stay. I'm challenging myself to do better, because Quisha brings conviction to me that I need to do better. Quisha, I said I'm gonna be better. Not that anybody else don't, but she. Okay, chapter 26. It says here, if I can get to it. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine. Now, the first famine came when Abraham got his assignment from God to move out. And now this famine came, and now Abraham's son, Isaac, I'm sorry, Isaac, the father of Jacob, the second famine came. Now, the first famine, the children of Israel fled to Egypt. This time God said, don't go to Egypt. And just because God told you something one time doesn't mean he's telling you that. Again, that's why you have to watch when people say, we need to do what we used to do. God is alive and he's moving, so he may not do this time what he did the last time the same way. God may tell you to take the high road this time instead of the south road. So you have to know what God is telling you for every event. It's not cookie cutter. You can't just say, well, God told me the last time, I'm gonna try it again, because this time you will lose. So, because God is alive. Okay, let's go a little further. And Isaac went into Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Now, Isaac went in and talked to the king, and King Abimelech liked him, and they formed an allegiance. But then something happened. And Tiffany, what happened is Isaac bloomed and prospered. When God is in it, you're gonna bloom and prosper. And whenever you bloom and prosper, you're gonna create problems with other people. People can love you, they can like you, but they cannot get over human nature. Sometimes people don't understand a lot of things that about what's going on in their life. But if you understand human nature, you need to know anthropology as well as theology. So you know a lot about God, but you need to know a lot about people too. You know, a lot of times if people knew a little bit more about people, they'll fare better in relationships. The reason a lot of people go through so many relationships because they don't understand anthropology. And then there's some people that ain't too good in their theology. They think they know God, but what they know about God really is not accurate. They going by what somebody else told them. And if you talk to God, it's like, that's not me. God is not the kind of God that just look for a reason, Jason, to send us to hell. In fact, he's trying all he can to keep all of us out of it. If we follow what he say, we won't have to do that. God don't want you to suffer. Well, you're gonna have to take some scriptures out the Bible for some of us to explain away our theology. Like, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper. You're gonna have to tear that out of there. So you're gonna take out of that I have no greater joy than to see my children prosper. You're gonna tear that out. Okay, so this is in the category of seeds and sowing, because the wealth concept is this. Now people understand, well, what does the well mean? Okay, we'll get that. All right, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna jump for time's sake. First of all, Isaac was so much like his father. What did his father do when challenged? Miss Eleanor, he lied. Now, I got a problem. Thank you so much. I got a problem with believers who say this. Now, I don't hear a lot of people say that. I can't stand when people lie to me. That's your lack of knowledge of anthropology. Because the Bible says, that's theology, all men are liars. Now that's theology. Now let's deal with anthropology. The psychologist says that most people at one point or another will tell an untruth. Then the sociologist says people lie for two reasons. One, to impress, and one out of fear. If I feel like James fixing to come over here and beat me upside the head for stealing out of the car, I ain't do it, James. Yeah. I got his radio in my back pocket, but I'm lying because I don't want you to put that hammer on. Right. So when people say, I can't stand a liar, well, you can't stand yourself. Because the Bible says, I said in my haste, all men are what? So now stop like you the clarion of truth. Like you're the lightning rod of truth. There can't nobody, what qualify you if they lie to God? But you so special that can't nobody lie to you? You lie to every day. They told you the Diet Coke tastes like regular Coke. You lied to every day. They told you it won't be no side effects from Ozempic. Stop telling people they told you McDonald's had real meat. I can't stand. Well, you're going to have to hate half of society. Jericho, I'm going to move on. So he lied and said that his wife was his sister. Does that sound familiar? Verse 17, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister, for he feared to say, she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon, because she was fine. That's what it said. That's what it said. It said she was so good looking. He said, that ain't my wife, that's my sister. And then when they started looking at her, he got jealous. He said, oh, no. But then, okay, well, I guess I'll move on. Listen to verse 8. Cliff, this is what gave him away. And it came to pass when he had been there a long time. Now he been camping out with Abimelech, hanging out with the fellas, talking sports and kicking, and then all of a sudden, Abimelech looked out the window and see him talking to Rebekah. And Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, looked out the window, I told y'all, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. Now, if you're going to sport with somebody, who better to sport with than your wife? But except if you done lied and said that ain't your wife, then you don't need to sport with her in public. But he couldn't help himself. Everybody else thought she was fine, but he thought she was really fine. And she was mine, all mine. That's a different kind of fine when it's your fine. Because beauty is in the eye of the what? But everybody was beholding. She was fine to everybody. Y'all ain't feeling me? Amen. All right, I'm gonna move on because he shouldn't say that. Well, I'm just saying that now Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety, she is your wife. How sayest thou that she is my sister? And Isaac said, because I said, at least I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might likely have lain with thy wife, and thou should, lean or line with, and thou should have brought guiltness upon her. He said, man, you're gonna bring a curse to us. And he said, man, I thought y'all were gonna kill me because my wife's so fine. So, Well, I mean, let's be honest. Some men, we judge men by the woman they pick. That's what I'm saying. I can't listen to you because I see your wife over there. Your wife ain't getting with you. I'm serious. That's why when men upgrade in life, the first thing they do is upgrade their wife. Toby can't go with them to the next level. They leave Toby at that level they were at. Said, I ain't gonna never change. I'm gonna be myself. Well, I'm gonna leave you where you on this, like the elf on the shelf. And they be talking about he left us. You didn't go. It's good when your mate change, you change. If your mate read a book, you read that book. If your mate get his manicure, you get one. He get a haircut, get your hair done. Don't get stuck in yesterday. Well, God gave you, I'm pretty sure God gave him to you or her to you, but you got to stay in the game. Keep him by, you done quit trying now. All right. And Miss Eleanor, they love to say, but you saved, you supposed to be saved. Saved and keep David.
That's right, Pastor. That's right.
It ain't nobody in the Bible that, that's why the Bible says, it says, except with consent, and that's only for fasting. But come together. You've been away from your husband for not even months, Miss Eleanor, but years, and talking about the Lord keeping him. You need to be drug out in the, I wish they could steal stone folk. You need to be beat with green wheel. Some people are so ridiculously ignorant, they don't know. Yeah, God gave it to you, but God gave you a horse, but you got to feed him.
That's right.
Amen. God give you a Bentley and you're just gonna drive it, ain't gonna change the oil. No, you got to work on your marriage like any other relationship. And I know men that wear a woman down, she start looking bad, then they go to another one. Then they wear her down, she belongs in an asylum. Then they go, we got to break up. We about to break up. Because all you're doing is breaking them up.
That's right. Amen.
Improve you. Then improve who's with you. And you got to be a willing participant. You can't take a person where they don't want to go. I said to a young man yesterday, Bruce, that there are 17 women to every one man in Atlanta. So you see a man in Atlanta, I don't want no woman. He got to be the most unluckiest person in the world, because I met a man that had been hit by lightning twice, and they said it don't happen. I ain't said, Bruce, I didn't say your situation, because from what I understand, you used to have it going on when you had your hair. Well, he said, well, that's what he told me. Bruce said he used to have hair. Oh, he said, get back in the book. Okay. But he did tell me, he said, it was long like Superfly. And that's what it did, it flew. But Bruce. Oh, okay. If I start lying, I'll hit the mic. I'm gonna hook you up, though. Tiffany, tell George I got an assignment for him. Bruce gonna walk back in here looking like yesterday. You ain't the only man in here okay. Superfly me, Superfly. Okay, to get back to the work. I gotta jump down now because I don't took up too much time talking about Superfly. All right. Abimelech, verse 11, charged all his people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Now the king, Jason the king, said, don't nobody touch my friend. Because first of all, now, even after he lied, now most people told him, be like, I ain't fooling with him no more. He lied. See, that's where these fragile relationships are built, Jason. When they so fragile, I can't fool with Jason. Jason, it's situations that create circumstances. Abimelech, the king, said this. He said, don't nobody touch him. The reason he did this, his dishonesty was out of fear. He said, but now let him grow his farm, feed his cattle, do all that he does. But then something happened. God blessed him more than he was blessing the Philistine. And when God blessed him, he began to expand and increase. Now, those are two words that, because of what? Let's look at that. Verse 12 said, then Isaac what? Then Isaac what? Then Isaac sowed in the land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. Now, there are people who want to reap, Jackie, but they don't want to sow. Now, I've been talking about seed sowing, but everything in God's kingdom is based off this concept. When you want a quality harvest, you got to sow a quality seed. Now, whether you want to or not, you're going to reap what you sow. You ain't got, listen, you don't even have to go out there and tell folk, I'm going to get you. God going to get them. One way or the other. Tiffany, and God getting is always accurate and right, because God got it on a centrifugal force that you reap what you sow. You sow, let me tell you something, even down to relationship. People say, ain't no good men. Yes, it is. Ain't no good women. Yes, it is. And all these people that can't find a good person, get you an alien. Because there's somebody, you just got to change how you sow in. The Bible says if you should sow to the flesh, you should reap of the flesh. So if all you getting is a note on your nightstand, if you want a permanent relationship, sow it. He that desire a friend must show himself friendly. You can't be hard and I don't play. Well, life is hard for those who don't play. I don't. Well, okay. People like you usually die alone. So change. If the Bible said, even Jesus said, with loving kindness have I drawn. You want to draw people? Be loving and kind. Otherwise, you're going to be in the old folk home, mumbling to yourself and mad. I don't think I want to go out like this. I'm taking the name that my mom and daddy gave me out. Or either be a good liar. A lot of folks in church lie to get a husband. Once they get it, they don't really want a husband. They just want children. They want the life. They spend more time on the wedding than the marriage. If they spend half the time on the marriage as they did the wedding, you'll have a lot more people staying together. But some people, you marry them and it's a dream. Some people, it's a horror story, a movie yet to be made, because people don't tell the truth. Now, let me share something with you. God's design order for humans is that everybody ought to want to be happy. Now, people get mad when the truth hit them in the face. Whether it's me, James, Melvin, Derek, truth. Now, a lot of problems come, I said this, dysfunctional people make normal people malfunction. Can I give it to you? A dysfunctional person, you marry a dysfunctional person, and now they're not what you need, so you malfunction. You walk around here malfunctioning. And then before you know it, you slip, trip, and you fall. Anything, let me tell you something. If you hungry, you drive around, they tell you, don't ever go shopping hungry. You're all in the store. I want some of this. I want some of these little egg roll vignettes. I want to try this dip right here. I don't know what this is, but what is that? What's that thing, Quisha, what's that thing with them spikes on it? The round, no. Huh? No, the thing that they pull, Cliff, the fruit that look like an armadillo. The vegetable, rather. No, No. I shouldn't even start on the heart of it. They used artichoke. See, that's why it's hard for me to remember it, because nobody. You're in the store tomorrow. I want a heart. Somebody said dragon fruit. I want some dragon fruit and some artichoke heart. And you know you ain't got no business eating neither one. But a hungry person in the store get home and say, I done spent $300 and I only want to get some grapes. Because same thing in life, you go out and you hungry, and then you be at home talking about with a note on your nightstand, I ain't playing. I told him I'll go to Milo's with him. So you don't become victim. The Bible said, when you're drawn away of your own what? Lust. My pastor used to tell me, the late, great Timothy Huffman used to say, if you marry, don't send your husband out hungry. And don't be pushing him away to my scat cat, because somebody else out there said, kitty. And just because you don't want it, don't mean don't nobody want them. Why you always trying to be up under me? Why you always trying to be? You'll be surprised when folks want somebody under them, over them, around them, and about them. I'm like, you ain't got that much on the ball. There's so many things that can happen in your life that can change your situation. If a person loves you, he don't care what hits you. You can grow old together. That ain't what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about sowing. But whatever seed, Jesus said, with loving kindness have I drawn. You want to get somebody and be in a build a substantial relationship, you got to show them substantial value. And you got to show them systemic value. You got to show that you will add value to their life. You got to have more than hips and fingertips. And ladies, y'all need to stop just getting some breath and britches. There's a popular saying, I heard one of the missionaries here say it, get you a man and fix him up. There's a reason why he ain't fixed up. Now you don't put him on some clean clothes, wash them up and put him in your house. Let me tell you what you do. Go out and get you a Puma. Clean him up, get him a bowl and a scratch pan, put him in your house. Help me, Jesus. Ooh, Lord, come get this thing out. That's a wild, untamed animal. If you see a person, I'm gonna clean him up. Life didn't do that to him. He did that to him. As a man thinketh, so is he. Now you take that psychology, I heard it around here. I said, I don't want to subscribe to that. You get somebody, take them home, tell them I'm gonna fix them up and clean them up. You'll be on the news tonight. No, you find somebody that's already fixed up. I'm just kidding, y'all, because a lot of single women in here and y'all be talking to me, and I'm trying to tell you, it's easy, really. All you got to do is do like Jesus said, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Now, a lot of brothers, they ain't never, ever gonna get married again. I'm gonna tell y'all that. Well, you ever been to a restaurant and you walked out and say, I ain't never going back there? That's how a lot of brothers feel about me. I ain't never getting married again. I don't give a nobody to say Jesus came down and told me. They ain't said they ain't gonna fornicate. Jesus gonna have to forgive me. I had a man tell me in Mobile, I'll go to hell before I go back to that woman. You just might. If you ain't gonna live right, you may go to hell. And a lot of times, even at church, a lot of people live like they ain't no judgment. They live like they ain't got to pay for their actions. I mean, the Bible said they take delight in iniquity. We should they be bragging. You ain't got no conscience. Nothing told you. The Bible says if your conscience condemns you not, God is greater than your conscience. If your conscience don't tell you, the word need to tell you. God understand. You understand that this 66 books can keep you out of hell. But have a plan to do right. I gotta get on the message. So what you plan to read. Be nice. You want friends? Be nice. And you'll find, and God will draw people to you. You can be a magnet. Now, whatever you sow, that's what you'll reap. Isaac sowed in the land and God made him great. Now, I want God to make some more people great so they can stop envying what other folk got. I pray to God bless. Let me tell you something. There are three types of men in the world. Me and Derek were talking about that the other day. Some people, they're gonna have to get with somebody blessed to be blessed. They just got to get with somebody. Now, if you ain't gonna do right, I guarantee you, if you talk to a person 5 minutes, you can tell their downfall or their uprising. Some people are never gonna be blessed, never gonna be blessed, because what's going on inside their head is a preventer. But I'm gonna move on. Catch me at 11. I have more time. Verse 13 said, well, first of all, Tiffany said, in Isaac, he received 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became what? Very great. First pack, God made him great. Then he became very great. Now, when God make you great, James, you're going to create some problems. See, God will make you great, but greatness comes from God. Let me move on because, okay, verse 15 said, for all the wells which his father servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Now, there's a total of 7 wells, 2 that Abraham had. And the Philistines said, if we stop the wells, we're going to stop his momentum. So they came and plugged up the wells with rocks. But I want you to know that it wasn't the wells, it was the one that gave the wells, which was God. So they thought by stopping the wells, they were going to stop his blessing. Because first of all, because you're not responsible for your anointing. You're not responsible for your blessing. Don't go to where they go. Keep moving in your circle of prosperity. Listen to me. Now listen. Okay, for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days. Okay, now listen. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us. Now, first of all, this man told everybody, if you hurt him, I'm gonna kill you. But then the man got so great, Pat, listen to what the king says now. He said, Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Jeruel and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which had dug in the days of Abraham, his father, of the Philistines. And the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called the name of the name of his father had called them. He called the same names, Pat. But then it says here, and Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdsmen of Jeruel did thrive in Isaac herdsman, saying, this water is ours. And he called the name of this well Esek, because they strove with him, and they digged. Now they came, Cliff, and this would be the well. This is the first well, and this well is called the well of jealousy, because they came and saw God blessing him, so they stopped his well. So he goes to another well, and he digged another well. This time, the second well, and the second well is called the well of accusation, of argument. They're going to pick up an argument with you. See, people going to argue with you because jealousy. The first well is jealousy. Second well is argument. They're going to say things to pick up a fight with you because they see that God's hand is blessing you. In spite of the fact that his blessing was blessing them. In spite of the fact that they even admitted God have to be with them because they know he's doing what they cannot. So the second well is the well of argument. But then the third well is the well of accusation. They will accuse you of things that you've never done. But that is just to belittle your name. That's just to pull down your image and belittle you in the eyes of your people. So they're going to have the well of accusation. Oh, thank you, Marlon. They got the well of accusation. And after the well of accusation, Then there comes another well. And that's the well of slander. They're going to slander you. Slander means they belittle you without truth. See, the accusation is they accuse you. But slander means they making up stuff on you now. They'll say you're doing this, that, or the other. Did you do this? Did you do? None of your business. People, you know what? It ain't my business what you do, and it ain't your business what I do. Little people got little thoughts. That's the well of slander. And when the well of slander, they're gonna put rocks in your well. You got 5 wells. So let me get you to the next one. The next well, Jason, is the well of deliverance. God will provide. God's divine provision. God is turning your life around. But then God give you one more well. And that's the well of more than enough. Exceedingly. See, God just didn't get you out, but God made you great. So God gave him another well. When the devil put rocks in your well, you don't have to fight back. You don't have to defend your reputation, but dig another well. If God be with you, no rock big enough to stop your flow. No stone big enough to stop your anointing. They know what you know, that God is with you. Abimelech said, we know that God is with you. And if we don't watch you, you'll take over us. You're mightier than us. And whenever somebody that's mightier than them come among them, they got to pal up. They got to team up. They got to buddy up. See, they need a buddy to lie. They need a buddy for accusations. They need a buddy for slander. But you by yourself, just dig in another well. And they thought by stopping your well, that'll stop your blessing. But what they didn't know is what you know. I'm going to dig another well. You can have that one. I've already moved. Where you are is where I were. But I've already moved. Where you are is where I was. I'm no longer there. I'm no longer at the house of pettiness. I'm no longer at the house of complaining. I dug another well. Every round goes higher and higher. So now Isaac dug another well. And God had a way of getting him out of debt. God had a way of getting him out of hock. God had a way of getting him out of trouble. Because he sold in the land of plenty. When you're in a good land and you're a good person, you got a good book, you got a good God, you got a good plan. Oh. Can't nothing stop your blessing. All the lies that they tell on you, somebody still want to hear you. All the pits, you got to make sure that you dig a well, not a pit. Because he that diggeth a pit shall fall therein. But he that diggeth a well shall drink freely. And it gushes up into everlasting provision. God will provide. God will give you what you lack. God will give you what you need. Dig another well. If folks have put you down, if folks have forsaken you, dig another well. If folks have talked about you and abandoned you and left you to die, dig another well. When you dig another well, you got to understand, you could go and try to get the rocks out of your last well, but your anointing has moved. Wherever your anointing move, move with it. See, you're going to encounter some folks these days that ain't got no shame. You can help them, and they'll hurt you. You can praise them, and they'll lie on you. They'll slander you, and you ain't never did nothing to them. But that's what wickedness is. And what it is what it does. Monkeys don't fly. Fish don't sing. And birds don't build. But monkeys climb a tree and swing from branch to branch. Fish swim. Birds fly. So you'll never get past your nature. If you want to overcome your nature, you must be born again. You must be born again. Not of a corruptible seed, but of an incorruptible seed. It's something diversely wicked down in your soul that you could ever speak, open your mouth and speak against anybody that ever gave you bread, that ever helped you out and gave you an encouraging word. And if you don't understand it, don't speak on it. If you don't understand it, you are here with a whole editorial on somebody that never hurt you, never said nothing about you. But envy, you done put envy, a rock of envy, a rock of jealousy, a rock of accusation, now a rock of slander. Saying what he likes, saying what he prefers, saying what he do, and you hadn't done nothing. How many people have y'all won? How many people have y'all healed? How many people have y'all blessed? I know nobody. And you wobble your tail around, lying and conniving, because you don't have God. If God's on the inside, the Bible said with love and kindness. He said, if I receive you. He said, no, that's Cain. Look at somebody say Cain's fruit. Cain and Abel were both sowing.
That's right.
But Cain sowed an unacceptable fruit. Abel sowed a good fruit. And God said, if you not sow a respectful fruit, will you not be accepted? In other words, you want to be praised? Then give an acceptable fruit. We rather sow a fruit of jealousy, a fruit of malice, a fruit of accusation. We rather tear down than build up. But if you get saved, when you get saved, it's not that everybody's gonna like you. When you get saved, it's not that everybody's gonna get with you.
That's right.
When you get saved, you gotta learn how to walk by yourself. When you get saved, you gotta learn how to pray to the Lord for yourself. I found myself the other day, and it's a place that I've been many times before. Well, my grandson had an accident in the car I gave him. And the part went out on the car that Shannon's driving. And Jason, for the first time, found myself without a ride. I ain't got no car. Ain't got no way, ain't got no means. And I was just sitting at home thinking, I ain't called nobody. I didn't pester nobody. I could have called James. I could have called Melvin. I could have called Bruce. I could have called Jackie. I could have called Pat. I could have called Marsh. I could have called Derek, but I didn't. Could have called my daughter. Could have called her husband, but I didn't. I sat there for a moment, and I said this: I've sown seeds. See, you have to speak that thing. I said it in my house with the door closed. I've sown seeds. And with the seeds that I've sown, I ain't gonna be without a ride. My grandson, I let him drive my truck. And he said, Granddad, when I'm gonna get to school? I said, take the truck. And then Shannon called me. She said, Dad, I got to take the truck. I said, get the truck. So now, I saw my wife get her keys and the bucket. And I was like, no, I'm not going to bother your car. See. Then this guy called me. And the lady that was here at the church a few weeks ago called me. She said, Reverend Frazier. I knew it was another church because she said, Reverend Frazier. She said, you bought this car for me. It's in front of my house. I said, yeah, I forgot. Months ago. She said, well, my fiance said you need to move it. I said, what? I need to move it. I'll be there. So I called Dre, my mechanic. I said, hey, come pick me up. Take me over here, Fairfield. And we talking. He said, the motor ain't gonna work in that car. The lady said she got rid of it because the motor shot. I said, it was shot for her. God liked me just as much as he liked Jackie. Jackie said her car for 2 years was down because they told her the motor was shot. Brother Larry put a battery in the trunk right up. Jason, I said, I already got a junk box. And so I said, just take one. He said, I ain't got no junk box, and I ain't got the genie to put the, I said, I don't need all that. I got a battery. Put the battery. He said, I'm gonna wait. I said, you can go on and go, it's gonna work. He said, no, I don't wanna leave you here, Rev. Man, go ahead. He said, but now don't call me when I get halfway to Dolomite and I gotta come back and get you. Jason, I told him, I said, I talked to God, and God put on that lady heart to call me and said, come get your car. So it gotta work. Put the battery in there, and the first thing the radio starts speeding up loud. Boom. I said, oh yeah. Turn the radio off. Yeah, that's a young person's car. Crank it up. Boom. Cliff, that thing sounds so good. I said, I'm going straight to Express Oil. I went to Express Oil in Fairfield, got it changed out. Man, I said, man, this thing is nice, clean. So I called the lady back. I said, look, that's what I said. I said, I feel guilty. She said, really? I said, yes. Because I'm saved. I don't want to beat nobody. You say you bought the car for your daughter and you didn't have it a good 6 months and the motor locked up. I said, ma'am, the motor ain't locked. You want your car back? She said, no, she don't like it anyway. I said, I'm telling you, ain't nothing wrong with this motor. She said, I don't want it. So I tell Shannon. Shannon tells me, Daddy, this car ain't gonna last a week. She said, I smell like machinery. I said, Shannon, you gonna drive? I ain't driving. She was like, I ain't driving. Because Daddy, you know how you do. You be done bought something and it'll be stopping. I said, I had the key. I said, okay. I get in it. In London, I hit the interstate. I said, I'm gonna shoot up to Talladega because that's my Jerusalem. I shoot up to Talladega and get off on the interstate, turn around, Killer, you know where I got off at. Get up there at Lincoln, get off, and get right back on I-20 and come back home. And I look at it, nothing's hot. Yeah, he's right in the middle. Air cool. I said, let me call that lady again. Ma'am, because she was here, she came to church. I said, ma'am, I don't feel right. Again, you need $500. You got $500 for tires. I don't feel good. She said, my fiance wanted it from in front of the house. You good, Pastor? Now I'm Pastor, I was real. And she said, we've been thinking about coming back to your church. I said, not only did I get a car, but I also, see, they put rocks in my well. I moved to another well. They put rocks in my well. I moved to another well. But now, I ain't going to a well. I'm going to the ocean. Ocean of praise. Oceans of thanksgiving. I'm at the ocean. I'm at the sea of deliverance, the sea of provision. I've left my wells and I'm at the sea, and I'm about to take a walk on the sea. God, he'll bless you in a dry place with water. He'll make a way out of nowhere. You better praise him. You better praise him. You better praise him. There are two kinds of people. There's one kind that praise God, and there's the other kind that criticize the praisers. I will never be a critic of the praisers, because as long as you're criticizing, you're not praising. But praise is my breakthrough. What you want, God got it. What you need, God's got it. God's already moving. He's already moving. Now, God said, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Show God that you're serious by the seeds that you sow. The next time you see Michelle, ask Michelle, I sold, and what I sold, I got back. And the next time you talk to somebody, ask them, won't God do it? God, listen, I see these folks sitting around here, and they always got the same story. Everywhere you go, it's the same song. But it's another group, they just got life in them. They bursting out with life because they understand the bigger picture. The bigger picture, the Bible said they got praise in their mouth. When you got praise in your mouth, let me tell you something. Quisha texted me the other morning. Well, she texted me the day, but I didn't see it till the next morning. And I called, she said, it's all good. It worked out. Quisha knew my heart jumped when she texted me. But you know what? Quisha, before I could even get the bad news, good news was knocking at the door. Yeah. When I get ready to hang my head, good news knock at the door. I may cry all night, Tiffany, but in the morning I got to knock at my door. I said, what's your name? Joy! I don't have time to talk about folk. I don't have time to stick my nose in your business. I'm too busy counting my many blessings. Name them one by one. Count my many blessings. See what the Lord have done. You can be at home and need a ride. God opened the door and bless you. He daily load us with benefit. God said he'll bless your house. It's a goodly house that floweth and overflow. God said he'll bless you going in, coming out, your downsetting, and your uprising. He said he'll bless your children. He said the mouth of the praiser is blessed. See, that's what a lot of y'all don't get. The mouth of the praiser is blessed. When you got praise in your mouth, that's why the Bible said bless and curse not, because blessing and cursing can't come out of the same fountain. Every time you curse, I can see the angel got your blessing getting ready to come, and you curse the angel, say, he on his way again. You curse, he's, and then the angel said, I wish they just shut up so I can bless them. Some of y'all need to shut up so God can bless you. That's why the Bible says he held his mouth. And David said, I held my mouth from good, that I sin not with my mouth. Held my peace from good. Sometimes you just got to shut up to get up. The old folks used to say, now they weren't in the word, but they were close to the word. And they used to say, if I can't say a word, I'm gonna just wave my hand. And what they understood is if I say something, I may say the wrong thing. Ain't nothing wrong if I just wave my hand. Some of us, we so busy talking about people, we can't talk about God. And God loved it when we talk about him. He said, oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. Now let me tell y'all something. Stop getting with something that I made and talk about me with it. I made it. And if I make it, I can break it. You don't believe me?
All right.
Kendall and him, my mama tell Kendall, that's my nephew. I was a little boy, I used to have toys. My mama said this the other day, I used to get mad and break my own toy. And they said, why you do that? I said, it was mine. I ain't break nothing that was yours. And I'm gonna break some more stuff that's mine. You ain't seen me break nothing. I can break a bat, I can break a wheel, I can break a dream, I can break a desire, I can break a bank. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about something, it says if it be in virtue, if it be in praise, think on these things. Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure. Is that pure? No. Is it honest? No. Is it proven? You lying. You're lying on the truth.
All right.
Besides that, he said, oh, no, I'm lying in the house of the truth.
All right.
But that song said, Jerry, I've never been to England in the spring of the fall. I've never been to India to see the Taj Mahal. I've never seen the gondolier play, but if I could just make it to heaven, that would be good enough for me, because heaven is the place I got to be. I've never been to Switzerland to see the Winter Games play. Oh no. Never been to New Orleans on Carnival and Mardi Gras Day. I've never been. But if I could just make it to heaven, that would be good enough for me. You see, the heaven, where the streets are paved of gold. Heaven, where the saints can soothe their weary soul. Heaven, I got to go. If I could just make it to heaven, if I could just make it to heaven, that'll be good enough for me. How many of you want to go to heaven? Marlon, if I could just make it to heaven. And that's why you dig another well, because if you can just make it to heaven, One moment in heaven will wipe away all your tears. Jeff, if we can make it to heaven, if you can make it, if you can take it, you can make it. Reasons. I heard that song in 1978. I was at the Youth Congress in Memphis, and I saw a man sitting on a piano singing it, and I said, man, I love that song. Didn't know it, never tried it. Just gave y'all a little bit of what I know. But the same person